Big East Invitational. We have 10 of the best Rocket League teams that we could muster out here today, and we are excited for a full day of car ball action. I'm Squid with McCornmeal, and oh boy, do we have a day of Rocket League in store for you.
Oh, it's going to be a great one. We've got a double round robin going on here inside of our Big East Invitational. And what better way to start it off than with Xavier versus Villanova? It's going to be Villanova in the orange team and, of course, Xavier in the blue team.
Let's get this one underway. A best of 5 for every single one of the matches that we have today. And as you mentioned, McCornmeal, double round robin, so a lot of potential for any one team to take a lead. And it looks like Xavier with a quick attack there, rather easily turned away, but still gives them the first couple of shots of the game. We'll have to see if they can push this forward into a goal. Bit of an awkward challenge out of the corner here.
It's going to be a little bit interesting today to see what these two teams play like. The team that's going to be the most aggressive is going to be the one that is going to dominate not only the pace of the game, but it should be the one who dominates the entire series as a whole. You're going to see so far it is Xavier having a lot of pressure on this orange side, but if Nova can get it back towards the other way and be able to rotate, it's going to make all the difference.
And you mentioned it, that aggression going to be so key here, and it will move forward. As we said, a double round robin throughout the whole day is going to be a mental test for all of these teams. We'll see if we can carry on through.
That's one of the things that I think is the most important about everything here. But oh, a beautiful shot right off the rip for the side of Villanova. We talked about the aggression from Xavier, but a mistake there leads to the demo, and that is going to be a beautiful goal there from Riles as well.
And Riles beating out that first man at the midfield line, an all-important play, gaining possession of that ball, a straight shot to the net, a close call at that. They do get that first goal on the board, and I guess slow and steady wins the race. As you just mentioned, Xavier with the first 3 shots, but here's another one by Villanova, narrowly saved by Mushu. And they will get it out to the corner, but the pressure's still on Riles for another one, almost puts it on target, but whip this time getting it away. Great saves by Xavier.
One thing they got to do here is they got to make sure they rotate back, but they're not able to do it fast enough. A challenge comes out from the backside of the goal. Unfortunately, was not able to get a touch onto the ball. And Satisfied Onion able to get it up and past the Villanova player to get it into the top right corner of the goal. That's another beautiful one and ties it up 1 apiece here inside of game number 1.
Definitely an immensely impressive solo effort there by Satisfied Onion. And Xavier, a great counterattack overall. And we're tied at 1. Only 1 minute and 40 seconds off the clock so far, so still plenty of potential for this game to go either way. Great challenge here by I'm a Horse. Then for the follow-up, blocked away by Mushu. Satisfied Onion gonna try and continue this one downfield, but things stalling out here at the midfield line as play slows down.
A lot of this game so far has been mid-map contest heavy. There's been a couple of plays where we get maybe a long boom clear down to the opposition side, but for the most part, it's just been a couple of either missed touches or just a couple of plays to where it seems there are just going to be like a very, I don't know how to exactly explain it, but mid-map has been so contest heavy so far in this game. Neither team has been able to get anything going except for those first 2 goals. And with 2 minutes and 30 seconds here, it could be a tale of a very, very low scoring game. We're just going to have to see how this one continues to play out, but with 2:30 again, I'm not sure how this one's going to go.
Oh, what a missed touch there. The defender not able to get on the ball, and Riles, great shot to the net, gives Villanova the lead.
Riles got a great pass from his teammate there off that left side wall. Again, the rotation from the side of Xavier just wasn't able to rotate back and into position fast enough that allowed the side of Nova to come up and score a big goal when they needed it most. Still a lot of time for the side of Xavier, though, to bring this one back, tied up 2-2, and potentially even take the lead.
And we'll have to see if they can bring out that midfield game they were mentioning just a second ago. Almost a passing opportunity there for Villanova, but turned away before it can reach the goal line. Satisfied Onion now. Play to his own corner. Pass into middle goes unrequited. Villanova opting to back off this ball and actually gets all the way into their corner. This could turn dangerous if they're not careful, but Riles does have a nice and easy touch out of the corner to get it all the way downfield. A bit of ping pong action going on here. Those contests need to come out more heavy, and now an opportunity from a Horse gets the double tap up the crossbar. Excellent read.
A gallop up high and flying for I Am a Horse, gets it off the top there. I wasn't sure if that one was going to be a goal, but with Mushu coming there at the end, but fortunately enough for the side of Villanova to take the 3-1 lead, I'm a Horse was able to get up off that back wall and down onto that ball to pinch it in before the side of Xavier could go ahead and muster anything on the defensive side.
And now it's all up to Xavier to respond. Villanova with insurance and looking for more if they can. Riles can't make the touch off the back wall, but McWitt very quick on the draw. Zen gonna be there. No trouble contesting that one. Another goal for Villanova, and they are running away with this.
Yeah, we talk about always being able to wait for your opponent to make a mistake. Right there, Villanova was very patient with the ball, and we said pace was going to be the dictator of this game, but so far, Villanova has seemed to slow it down a little bit, and like I said, played in the mistakes of the Xavier squadron. So that's allowing them to play this game to all of their empowerment. And so far, with a 4-1 lead, I mean, this team is looking rather unstoppable against the Xavier defense and even their offense.
Indeed they do, and with only 80 seconds left on the clock, the time is most certainly not in their favor here. Is Villanova now going to field it from their own backfield once again? Mushu keeping this competitive into the corner, but that 50-50 not going to happen. Satisfied Onion does take a player out for his troubles. But a rather easy defensive game now for Villanova as they continue to push this ball away from the opposing half. And here's a double commit for Xavier. That's not going to turn out well. Zen has everything to shoot at. It's a 4-goal lead.
Zen completely annihilates the Xavier defense and puts the dagger straight into their heart for game number 1. But game number 2 could be completely different. We always talk about momentum in Rocket League, and sure, Nova has a lot of momentum going into that game number 2, especially after what could potentially be even more than a 5-1 victory here inside of game number 1. But Xavier is able to get a couple more shots on goal here, maybe even score a couple of times. It's not going to be a telltale of game number 2 because that is going to give them a little bit of momentum going into game 2, knowing that they're going to be able to score on this Villanova defense.
That would certainly be a boon for them. Starting up this offense again, and we have seen them here multiple times. Bit of a double commit there for the Nova defense. One pops up high, easy play here for I'm a Horse. Gonna arc that one towards the net, but it's speculative, and Satisfied Onion with no trouble. And at this point, it is definitely too late. But let's see if Xavier can put anything back up on the board, as you mentioned, to just try and get a little bit of momentum, trying to move into game number 2. But it's pretty clear that this game is going to be over. Villanova with a commanding lead as time ticks down all the way to 0, and they've got game 1 of this best of 5. Satisfied Onion gonna get this double tap. Nice shot, and there's that momentum goal we were looking for.
That's got to be a confidence booster right there. I didn't want to say it at the beginning of the game, just in case anybody was listening, but one thing I will say is the jitters are real no matter what you're playing. The first game of the day is always going to be the most difficult one. That's going to be the one that you have to get over. That's that hump that you have to get past. For the side of Villanova, they came out hot, they came out frying. They were able to take down that Xavier team with relatively no problem. It was all ease for them. There at the end though, like I said, Satisfied Onion getting that confidence booster, it's going to be huge for him going into game number 2. And I think he's going to be that vocal in-game leader for game number 2 as well, to get his teammates riled up and on the same page as him.
And now Xavier have the wonderful opportunity of knowing how Villanova are going to play this game too. So they have all the time in the world to adjust. Completely clean slate. They can still afford to lose one more game this series and still take the whole thing. So let's see if they can make this comeback happen here as we get prepared to start game number 2. I think we should mention there are a lot of strong teams in this particular group with Villanova, St. John's University, I believe we have DePaul, as well as Marquette, all in this group for double elimination. So there are more challenges down the road. Let's see if Xavier can overcome this particular one with Villanova starting out with a game 1 win.
The one thing you don't want to do here is you don't want to go down potentially 3-0 in the very first game that you play, but right off the rip, I'm a Horse again. A beautiful pass from Zen allows them to get a little 1-2-3 action. You see it right there. It was a pass from I'm a Horse to Zen, then back to I'm a Horse, up into the top left corner once again for this Villanova side. And Xavier, right off the rip, goes down 1 goal for the first 22 seconds of the game. This one can turn around very, very quickly, but Xavier's got to make something happen.
And even after Zen was out of the play, you saw that he was still trying to be useful. Bumped the defender, made it all the more difficult for Xavier to make that defensive play. So excellently done, all players involved. Xavier once again starting off on the attacking half. The 1v1 now the other way. McWitt in the net is able to make this save. Nicely done. Xavier could not afford to go down 2-0 this early on. They do manage to push it back onto the offensive side, but this is a real common theme that we've seen with Xavier so far, as they move the ball onto the offensive half, but they're never able to maintain possession, and this is Exhibit A. Zen clearing it all the way down to Riles, and they managed to get it all the way to the blue half.
One thing I've been noticing from the side of Xavier is that when they're going up for balls, when they're making their plays in towards middle map, it just doesn't seem like they have that full confidence that we see Villanova having. Villanova, like I said before, they're flying all over the map. They're very, very, very confident, and they've got a full head of steam where they're going with the ball and where they're going to put it. They know exactly where it's going to go every single time, and again, their bumps have been out of this world. Every single time Villanova's down on that blue side, they're at least getting a demo or a bump out of the goal, and it's forcing the rotations from the Xavier players to where they're not going to be in position to make an incredible save if they need to.
Xavier once again on the offense, though. Trying to see if they can break that defensive struggle that they've been having for so long. Here's Mushu up high. It's a shot towards the net, but a little bit out wide. Satisfied Onion trying to get a word in edgeways, but Mushu off the cross makes the read, but Zen is there first. Well played on the defense there for Villanova, recognizing the threat by Xavier. Potentially the first good extended attack opportunity now coming up for the blue team. Touch there from Zen. Mushu plays it up into the corner. That's a dangerous cross, but nobody there to punish. And Ryle will get away with them there, and it looks like Villanova prepared to move into the offensive side, but Mushu, a great cutoff and McWhip. The demo in the backfield is going to allow the offense to be extended for their roster.
To your point, that was a great extended amount of time that they had to try and make something happen, to try and get a goal on the board for the side of Xavier, and I couldn't agree more, because what's been happening so far inside of this game is the side of Villanova have been able to keep it on the blue side for the entirety of the game, so what it seems, especially in game number 1. The amount of shots on goal is going to, again, it's going to dictate everything. A little bit slower Villanova team has not put as many shots as maybe an aggressive Villanova team could have, but it's allowing them to minimize their mistakes and make the shots count when they do take them.
And speaking of, this might be one here, as I'm a horse putting it off the far post and in. A little bit of a team play with another orange player in the corner, but some confusion here on the Xavier defense as well, putting 2 men on that ball outside of the net. Could have led to that disaster.
Sometimes a double commit is just what you need, especially if one's bumping from the backside or even the left side, potentially putting a ball a little bit more on track towards that goal, but one's going to be off that backside. Mushu is about to get that one in, but again, Xavier, they need to make something happen. They need to turn this one around. They have 1 minute and 50 seconds. With the 5-1 lead last time and them not being able to score until that last second goal off the backside wall, I'm really hoping they can make this comeback for themselves, but right again, Riles for Nova puts it in.
And this passing play, you can see it coming from a mile away. Of course, telegraphing this pretty hard, and there's Riles who's able to read it. Beautifully placed off on the right side. Even if there was a defender, probably would have been very difficult to save. That 3-0 lead going to loom over Xavier's head for the remainder of this series. Most likely, I'm a horse looking for another shot on target, and Xavier a little bit too quick to try and play defense. They let that one through as well.
Once again, I believe I can say this now, the dagger from the side of Villanova here in game number 2. 1 minute 33 seconds. Statistically, this is a very, very, very hard comeback to make, especially with 4 goals. Not only do you have to make 4 goals, but you have to prevent the side of Villanova from scoring just 1 goal here inside game number 2. This one could be all but over, but let's not count it out yet. With 1 minute and 25 seconds left, they've got to make a goal now, though, if they want to make this comeback.
Oh, and here's a shot opportunity. No, Xavier can't put it through. Still in the zone, but Mushu does not have the angle to get up for it. And that's going to be one they are going to want back. They might have another chance here on the offense. Mushu trying to take control, but quickly turned away by Riles. And that's going to slow things down considerably here for the blue squad as they continue to struggle getting this ball anywhere near the orange net. And I think that's really the key for Villanova, regardless of the fact that they are putting so many quality shots on target, such as that one. They are still managing to keep their defense in a position where they are ready for the counterattack should their offense be unsuccessful in what they're trying to do. So no endeavor is truly dangerous for Villanova. They're going to put another one on target here. Riles receiving from Iowa Horse out of the corner to make the lead 5-0.
Another garbage time score there for the side of Villanova. It allows them to go up 5-0 and further demoralizing the Xavier squad. Xavier, I don't know what they need to do after this game, but all I know is that they need to have a little bit of a pep talk with the team. They need to be like, look guys, we're down by this much, but we are just as talented as this Villanova team. We can make this comeback. We just have to put our heads in the game. And again, as I said before, Satisfied Onion, he's the one that needed to be the vocal leader after game 1. He had both of those goals inside of that game, as well as having that last second goal that tried to give them a little bit of momentum. He's got to be that vocal leader, as I said, to turn the guys around and make sure they're playing at peak performance and get those pass plays going. One thing that Xavier hasn't done is they have not had a lot of infield pass plays, and when they had a shot on goal, it was a McWhiff for McWhiff.
Well and truly. And I think another one of the key factors here for Xavier is this is a LAN environment now, so things might be getting to him. We kind of touched base on this one a little bit earlier, but it's really showing for me. I think we've seen a couple of plays where Xavier players just didn't touch the ball, which is rather strange if you ask me. I mean, these are players who we're used to seeing, you know, make these kinds of plays. You can see both Mushu and McWhiff out there with Season 12 Grand Champion tags. Season 12 Grand Champions don't really whiff balls, so I really feel like it might be some nerves getting to them or maybe unfamiliar setups, but either way, they have a large hill to climb here, and it's not looking easy.
One thing I want to touch on, too, is the amount of shots compared to both teams. Villanova, they had 10 shots on goal that game and 5 goals. For the side of Xavier, they had 5 shots on goal for a total of 0 goals. Yes, they had more saves than the side of Villanova, but that's not what they need. They need to continue to save more and more and more and more, but they need to be aggressive. That is the biggest factor for the side of Xavier. They need to be aggressive. Obviously, you don't want to force a mistake at your hand and have Villanova be able to run it back down towards the other side and be able to score that instantaneously, but you don't want to have to sit there in your blue side for, 3 minutes of the game compared to 2 minutes of trying to get through middle map and get an offensive side going. It's just not what they need, and they need to continue to go ahead and put more shots on goal and be a lot more aggressive as we head into game number 3. But as we mentioned, best of 5 series. This is match point for Villanova. If Villanova takes this, they'll go 3-0 up, and we'll go into our next game of Xavier and DePaul.
And as you mentioned earlier, infield passes might be the key here for Xavier. We really haven't seen any connect the dots plays coming out from them on the orange side of the field. So let's hope that they can have some sort of a miraculous comeback. But game 3 now underway, and an aggressive cheat there by McWhiff. Unfortunately, won't pan out, and here's a shot on target. That was quick, but satisfied. Onion and Mushu playing as a team to get it away. They're going to have to do more than that. McWhiff has to dive across the first shot. A bit of a heater by Zen was turned away, but some quick action here on both sides of the ball. 3 shots already on the board in total. Villanova quick on the attack here. Another opportunity, and Zen's going to be quick on the draw there, putting Villanova up 1-0.
I was going to say that was the first time I was confident in Xavier's defense this entire game. After that McWhiff clear to the other side, it was kind of unfortunate because they kind of threw that offensive possession away. Instead of taking that ball and trying to make an infield pass play, he kind of just drove it straight towards the opposition, and it allowed Nova to go back towards the other side, have 3 players pushed up, and be able to keep rotating in and out players to get a ball and a shot on goal every single time.
There's still a chance here, though. Thankfully, Villanova not quite up quite as big of a margin that we've seen them in the past in this series. Nice challenge there by Satisfied Onion, but nobody for a quick follow. Mushu out of the corner, successfully centers it, but it's too close to the Villanova defenders for McWhiff to make a play. They're going to try and continue this offense. Now down 1 player, might make things difficult. McWhiff in the air, shot towards the net, just a little bit wide. Follow up by Mushu, they've tied it up.
That was absolutely beautiful. This is exactly what Villanova was doing to them, and they were finally able to do it. Every time a ball was up in the air, the side of Villanova is able to be there and have 1, 2, 3 players going after it every single time, and they're able to rotate out through middle map and control the boost. This is nothing we haven't touched on, but Xavier right there, finally were able to get up into the air after another shot goes up. They had 2 players there able to make some plays on it, and finally, a mistake from the side of Villanova allows them to get a score here inside of game number 3, and that's the first time they have scored since game number 1.
It's an excellent continuation of offense as well, managing to keep the pressure on for more time than I think we've really seen realistically in all 3 of these games so far. A couple of passing opportunities that we saw them trying to make use of, and this one's a bit awkward here for Zen. Mushu's going to challenge that one aggressively. Nicely played, but McWhiff, with no passing target there, is going to dissipate the offense. As Horse will play this one all the way to the back blue wall. Satisfied Onion now out of the corner, and Xavier will resume possession here on the orange half.
Look how much more confident the side of Xavier is playing. Every ball that's up in the air, they are willing to challenge instead of playing back and playing inside of the base. They understand that the pressure of game number 3 is huge on them, because if they lose this, that means they lost 3-0 in their first game, and their win percentage is already going in the negative direction, especially going to play against a good DePaul squad. So understanding that in this game, they need to really focus on being aggressive and at least get one game under their belt so they have some sort of semblance and confidence going into going into that next game if they do end up losing to Villanova. But let's not forget, with 2 minutes and 35 seconds and 2 more games after this series is far from over as we know it.
Absolutely. There's still half of this game left with a tie game here. Things get a little bit heated though in the blue corner. McWhip out in the air for that one. Does successfully make the touch, but Horse is not having any of that one. Going to try and keep it in the zone, and you can see Nova just trying to desperately hold on to control here. They realize their strength is really in the offensive end. A bit of a double commit. That is going to punish every single time. And Onion, no trouble getting that one in.
Onion scores the first goal that puts Xavier up over Villanova. This is the first time in this series that Xavier has had a lead over this Villanova squad. It is all thanks to McWhip, Onion, and Mushu. They're playing together. They're playing as a team. 2 assists for McWhip and a goal apiece for Onion and Mushu. That is great team Rocket League. And look at Villanova. They've got 7 shots on goal to compare to only 3 from Xavier, but they're capitalizing on the side of Villanova's mistakes. That is Xavier. Xavier has been playing great so far this game. They've been playing aggressive, and that's what we need to see. Again, it's a little bit of cat and mouse with the ball here, but continuing to play this one right. Oh my god, up and over the middle. Riles from a beautiful pass from Zen puts that one in. Not a single thing Xavier could have done there.
And this is the kind of vision that you have to have if you're playing as Villanova right here. Even though that ball is moving back towards your side, Riles recognizes the opportunity for Zen to make that cut and find a passing target on the other side. And he is there, he is ready, and they get that equalizing goal. Well
We've been
done.
talking great about Villanova Xavier all game long as well. But let's not forget, Villanova is up 2-0 in the series after a fantastic first 2 games and a very convincing first 2 games at that. They still have a very good chance to take this game and the series here with 1 minute and 30 seconds left. This one's far from over.
Xavier with a bit of an awkward series right there in front of the net. Might not bode well for the future of this defense. Kyle's gonna force this one into the corner. Zen now in the air. Mushu a bit of in a strange spot. Can Zen get the angle? No touch! But there's Riles for the follow-up, and Villanova taking a late lead.
No whiffs in Rocket Leagues, just tactical fakes, and that was what that was from Zen right there. Zen does a little bit of a miss. Onion was the one who thought that he was going to be playing that ball. Then Riles comes out of nowhere, puts him up 3-2, scores the late goal here in game number 3. And Villanova now in the driver's seat to take this one in a 3-0 sweeping fashion. The broomsticks could be coming out here, folks, but Xavier can try and make sure that is not so. And the tale is going to be rewritten.
Close ball there. Xavier now pushing all the way downfield. That could have been a shot opportunity, but they just couldn't get it on target. And oh my goodness, that pinch might be a little bit higher than they wanted. Onion out of the corner. Shot opportunity here from Mushu, blocked out by Animal Horse, and that one's going to be moving fast the other way. Riles trying to make a contest. Let's get a bump, and that boost control is going to be key. Pass out in front. Nobody there. They will be able to maintain control. Great rotation there. It remains in the blue corner. Xavier in a tough spot here. That 30-second buzzer just going off. No boost from Mushu. Couldn't get it away from Animal Horse, and now strange spot here. Shot opportunity, and they can't get it away. I'm a Horse gains insurance late in the game.
I'm pretty sure I'm a Horse is the one that hit the last second shot, or not last second, but last minute shot for this Villanova team every single game. Game 1, 2, and 3, I'm a Horse has been the closer. He's been the finisher. He's been the one to put that ball on target to make sure Xavier can't make a last second push or a last second comeback.
And they're just going to continue to hammer. Oh my god, Riles, the double tap carrying it through the air, going to do all the work himself. And this is a much more familiar scoreline for this series for the Villanova players. This is truly the final nail in the coffin if we didn't already have it. With 16 seconds left to go in this game and series, Nova are closing this one out.
That is all ball control right there. That is just a veteran Rocket League player. He knows exactly how to get that ball moving. A beautiful pass there, up off that high side, down to Riles, and puts it in. This Villanova squad, I know we tried to talk really good about Xavier and how they needed to have confidence and needed to have those team plays, but you cannot undermine this Villanova squad. They've got such a good chemistry, as it seems, here inside of this game of Rocket League. I mean, it's truly unbeatable when you're playing with a team that's playing well and what seems like they're having good vibes, especially going up 7-2 here late in this game.
And you got to give credit to Xavier, right? They battled here in Game 3, but you can tell as soon as Villanova gains an advantage, they basically transform into a team that basically cannot be beaten in these kinds of situations because they are just going with all the momentum that they have. And now with 7-2, if this is the final scoreline, the last second now off the clock. They are keeping it up though. By the way, 5 goals, game 1, 5 goals, game 2, 7 goals in game 3. They just put down 17 goals in 3 games of Rocket League, which is a pretty impressive number, I will say. And they managed to take this 3-0 win. That is a great way to start the day.
We talked about it in the intermission of last game, but I want to do it again right now, just to kind of reinforce the fact that aggression and being able to continue to pile shots on the opposite team is not only beneficial, but it also wears down the opponents as well. Villanova, they had a total of 17 shots on goal. 17 shots on goal in 1 game. Xavier scored twice with 3 shots.
It was truly ridiculous stuff. And I mean, if we wanted to look at their shots for every one of those 3 games, then we'd be looking, I think, at least, 25 to 35 shots on target for Villanova. And we should mention that top 2 from each group will be advancing. We are covering one group. You can find the other group over there on twitch.tv/EGF official. We're over here on EGF official 2. We're going to be covering more matches. DePaul and Xavier coming up next. We'll be right back after this short break.